Hey guys, how's it going? So today I'm doing a little review on the Samsung Galaxy S5. Now, I know it's a little late, but it took me forever to get one. I actually didn't think I was going to ever be able to get one because I just didn't have the extra cash. But lucky for me, Diplom-Is, which this is not a sponsor, but I'm going to give you a quick story. Diplom-Is had a photo contest on Instagram, and I happened to win. So that was really awesome, and that's how I got this phone. If you don't know who Diplom-Is is, they are a Norwegian-based ice cream company. Actually, more of like a frozen treats company because they do like frozen Snickers, for instance, is one of the things they sell, or Lion ice cream, which I know is in the UK also as a candy bar. So not too sure exactly how to do, but they're like the Norwegian frozen treat company, and they are a subsidiary, if I said that properly, of Tine, which is the locally owned and maintained dairy system in Norway. So basically the most popular dairy in Norway. So thank you very much to them. Again, this is not a sponsor. I just wanted to let you know why I have this cover on them with their logo. And it's because they were awesome enough to give me a prize of a brand new Samsung Galaxy S5. So that was cool. So now I'm able to give you my opinion and review of the device. So here we go. Since I'm on the outside, I will start there and start with the fingerprint scanner. Fingerprint scanner at the beginning was absolutely miserable. It did not work. I had maybe a 20% unlock success, which, I mean, you gotta agree with me, that's worthless. If you only get 20% of the unlock working, the rest of the time you're cursing and fighting your phone to try to get into it and use it, and that's just not fun. And if you miss unlock, or if you get the wrong or not registered, like, you know, if you get this type of message so many times, it'll actually lock it for like 30 seconds, I believe it is. And so you have to wait for that countdown. Even if you know the alternative password, you still have to wait for that countdown to finish before you can unlock your phone, which is just a pain in the butt. So at first I was like, this is just terrible, I'm not going to use this. Went to the pattern lock, used that for a while, but then I decided, let's give this another shot. And I really took my time. I made sure two things: that my hands were not super dry, and that I also took my time to really set it up and pay attention to the menus and, you know, put a lot of effort into it. And after about 5 or 6 different setups, meaning I started all over again and retrained it again, now it's working. And now I get closer to a 90% unlock accuracy. So it's better. It's quite a bit better, and it's working more or less like it should. So my recommendation, if you want to use the fingerprint scanner, really take your time to set it up. Don't rush through it, because if you do, it's just not going to work right for you. Once you do get it set up, it's good. So it takes me to the back, and I'm going to talk about this little guy. Now, I had already done a video kind of in a roundabout way, I guess, putting this down. And you know what? Now that I own one, I'm sticking to that video. If you don't know the video I'm talking about, I made a video talking about the app that you can download, which I believe is called Heart Rate Scanner. And what it does is it uses your LED light and your camera to do the exact same thing that this little tiny camera and infrared sensor is doing. And all that does is it shines light through your skin, and it measures the minute little changes in your blood vessels to kind of register your heart rate. It's pretty simple science. It works great, but it's not necessary to have a special sensor built in to do that. I mean, it literally is a small, tiny camera and an infrared light, which is actually a red light because you could easily see it, no problem. And all of that measures it. So it's a waste of money, in my opinion. So I know we're paying for it and buying these phones, and Samsung is reaping the benefit on that, because I'm sure they're charging you about 100 times the value of what that sensor costs. But it's a pointless feature. If you like it, that's great. But honestly, I've put it up against the M8 using that third-party app. I've even installed that third-party app on this device and tried them next to each other. So first tried the third-party app, then tried the sensor. And they register relatively the same amount of time it takes to measure, and within 2 or 3 beats per minute differences between the two, no proving who's more right, they're averaging out to be exactly the same accuracy. So it's the same. It's pointless. Anyways, enough of that. Let's get into the device. I don't want to completely slam Samsung, because that's not what my channel is all about. I do want to tell you, in general, the overall experience of this phone, especially if you are new to Android and get one of these for your first phone, this phone is amazing. simply put, it's a wonderful device. You will not be disappointed with it if you're a standard user. Everybody that I have talked to that owns Samsung devices, whether it be an S5, older ones, or even the Notes, they all have great things to say about it. So I'm not going to put this down as a company. I have my own opinions about how the company is ran, and I'm not going to let that affect this review. So if you're looking for a phone and you want something that's popular and all that great stuff, this will serve its purpose. You won't be disappointed. That being said, I'm going to let you know what I personally don't like about Samsung, and in general, it's their TouchWiz user interface. So Samsung has gone in and really fluffed the heck out of their operating system, or their, what do they call it, their launcher, or their user experience. And the skin that they use is just ridiculous in my opinion. So the reason why I don't like it right off the bat is how bubbly and colorful it is. It's too much. It's too cartoon in my opinion. Android is not like that. Most people that I see making custom stuff on Android, they don't get into this cartoon look unless they're making like a fun game app or story type of app. Otherwise, it's a very clean, simple, very intuitive user interface, because let's face it, when we're on a mobile phone, we don't want to spend time digging to find something. We want to get right to it, done, let's move on, because we're in such a fast-paced world these days. That's kind of, it seems as though Samsung is going away from wanting that. They want you to slow down and browse through. Let's see what else I can do here. But it's done in such a non-intuitive way that people tend to miss things. And the reason why I know people miss things is because every single person that I talked to that was not a cell phone nut, they had no clue about half of the features that they had already installed. I showed them one thing, like the hover above feature that these newer Samsung devices have, where you can not touch the screen and it still shows you little glimpses of like your photo gallery and stuff. They had no clue. I showed them that. They're like, oh my God, how do you get that? What app is that? I want to download that. And I said, you already have it on your phone. I was like, no, I haven't downloaded that. Which one? They like argue in a quick sense. And so I show them it's in their settings. Like, oh, I didn't even know I had that setting. I didn't even know I can get to that. How did you get to that? And it's like I'm here teaching them how to use a phone, and to teach somebody how to get into basic settings shouldn't be needed. That should be a very intuitive thing, you know. It's kind of strange. Obviously you have settings here, but most people see settings and they don't think to dive into that and discover what features my phone has. So that was kind of interesting to me to find out, because it seems like more other devices like Nexus device users and HTC users, they seem to understand what their phone has, and Samsung users don't seem to have that. Now, this is not a bash on Samsung users, it's a bash towards Samsung, because I think it's just too much going on to make it easily understood. So that's my gripe about TouchWiz, and I know there's lots of people that would agree and just as many people that would disagree with that, and that's just the way I'm going to stick with this. So enough of that. Some things that I have noticed on this phone that are unacceptable. Now, if you notice when I was swiping, there is a very big lag to go over to Samsung's My Magazine, their news board system that they have. Basically what it is a quick little menu setting or quick glimpse of Flipboard. So it is a different app that you have to use. It's called Flipboard if you're not familiar. It's a news app, so we'll get in. Come on. As you can see, there is quite a bit of lags with this one for some reason. Once you're in the app, it works just fine. It responds great. Everything seems to be fine. But until you're in the app, it just lags. Even the swiping from the screen, you can see how, move across fast and it still comes. And if you're on normal, that doesn't lag. There's a slight normal, traditional Android lag with Samsung phones that's there, but come on, that's so slow, and there's no reason. It's not rendering, it's not refreshing or anything. It's the same stuff that's been there. I haven't told it to refresh. So that's a little annoying. And speaking of lag, go into the camera app, or sorry, the gallery app. Gallery app has a completely pointless and non-excusable lag. Look how long it takes to get to your photos. And believe it or not, that's fast. I've had other times where I thought it didn't register my touch and I had to go back in, but as I'm getting ready to open it a second time, it finally opened up. It happens quite a bit. Once you're in the app and you just back out, you don't clear or anything, it goes in there fairly quickly because it's, you know, running in the background of the process. But if you clear it out from your apps, and so now there's nothing running in the background, no recent apps, it just lags, and I don't know why. So nice things, once you're in the app, it has great features. So it has like pinch to zoom in and out of your stuff. So you know, nice little features. Like I said, it has that hover feature, so you can hover your finger above an image and it'll show you a glimpse of what it is. You know, I'm not even touching the screen. A feature you have to turn on, is not on by stock. So that was pretty nice. I enjoy it. Is it needed? Absolutely not. But it is definitely a fun feature to have and to show off, and it does wow people. So it's cool. I like it. Absolutely no real use for it in general, but it's fun to have. So once the gallery is open, I like it. It's nice. It has an option that you can turn on to set up tags. So it'll tag like people's faces, and then you can label who they are, and it'll find them. The more you tag, the more it finds them. So that's fun. Overall, the gallery is nice. It's just that opening, the lag when it opens up is a bit annoying. And speaking of a bit annoying, I know I don't want to be a basher, but this is just annoying me. The music app on this phone, and I don't know if this is a common problem or not, but this app doesn't work. That is all that app does for me. And this is the stock music app. I have not rooted. I have not modified anything. I have not installed illegal music. This is the only music I have on here right now is from one CD that I put on. This is simple jazz music that I put on for testing sound, and nothing. There's no explanation on why it should be doing this. Also, people are probably gonna say, "Oh, you did something wrong. Just factory reset." I have already factory reset this device, and it's still doing this. So go figure. I don't know what that's all about. The only thing that makes sense is I have a corrupt initial system install from when I got an update or something. Who knows? But that app, as you can see, 100% of the time does not work. Another thing that doesn't work is group play. The app itself opens. I'm able to pair with other Samsung devices, but I have yet been able to get anything to sync between the devices. So, for instance, you're supposed to be able to play music seamlessly, like as though you get stereo speakers now because they're both playing the same song in sync. You know, they're perfectly matched up. And I thought we were supposed to also be able to have an option of putting multiple screens next to each other and kind of turning these into a big screen. You know what? It doesn't work. I cannot get it to show any media whatsoever on the other devices. Nothing works except for the fact that it says I'm successfully paired. So who knows what that's all about? Again, maybe it has something to do with the fact that this music app doesn't work and they need to kind of communicate to each other or something. Maybe it's a supplemental app. Who knows? But those two apps do absolutely nothing for me. They're a complete waste of space. Luckily, I can uninstall this one, but I can't uninstall the music app because it's a system app. So that's the biggest, you know, which is pretty much a complete turnoff to me. If I were to purchase the phone, I would return it because that, you know, a stock system app should not crash 100% of the time. There's no excuses for this day and age for a device this new, this advanced to have any crashing issues whatsoever. If it was an experimental app, a beta or something like that, I can totally understand that's expected. But a stock systems app should not have any issues whatsoever like that. I've never experienced that, or I've never experienced that on a stock music app, and I haven't experienced these type of system or app crashes outside of beta since the last 3 years, really. I haven't had any of those type of issues except for when I was actually doing something that I thought, you know, rooting, modifying things, using beta or alpha releases of apps. Those are going to expect to be crashing, but system apps, come on. So that was really annoying to me. Being that this is a gift, I'm not even going to try to get a replacement unit or anything like that. It is what it is. So I can't guarantee that that's going to be on a new device if you decide to purchase. So don't let that completely turn it off. But know that if you do experience that, it happened to me the second or third, actually the third day. The first 2 days the music app worked. The third day it didn't. So, you know, if you see that happen, go return it immediately because, like I said, after a factory reset, it still is doing it. So I don't know what's up with that. So that's my quick, you know, somewhat quick. I know it's like 15 minutes plus now, and I'm sorry for that. I wanted to make it quicker than that, but that is the Samsung Galaxy S5 and my personal review, my personal usage, and what I think about it. In all, the device is wonderful. I like it. The screen is perfect, beautiful. overall, using all standard apps that I've downloaded from the Play Store and whatnot, everything else seems to work just fine. I have no crashing issues. Things run relatively quick. So, I mean, in general, it is a great device. I give it a good, probably not including the fact that the music app is not working. I'm going to assume that all the rest will work. So, not factoring that in, I'm going to give it about a 4.5 out of 5. It's basically the lags that it has is what is killing it for me. I don't think a device with this much power should lag whatsoever, but it does. And it's all stock stuff that's lagging. It's not aftermarket stuff that's lagging. It's kind of funny. And the fact that TouchWiz is just a turnoff. I know they've kind of, you know, made it a little bit more subtle with this one, but it's still just way too much. So if you're looking for something that's a little bit more industrial or simplistic, and it's basically more of a get it done now type of styling and user experience, go with like an HTC M8, the One M8, or a solid just Nexus device, because that's even more simple and direct to what Android is all about, and you get to customize it the way you want. So go with one of those two devices. But if you like the cartoon and you like the you know, following the crowd popular styling of things, go with this. You won't be disappointed. So anyways, that's my video. If you have any questions, comments, likes, gripes, leave them down below in the comment section for me. I much appreciate it. I respect creative criticism and all that good stuff. So don't feel afraid to leave me any notes. Also, while you're down there, give me a thumbs up if you like what I'm doing. And if you haven't already, give me a subscribe. See what else is going to be coming out. I will be doing some like how to get to the bootloader screen and recovery and whatnot on this phone, so you can see that if you need help with that ever. So until next time, thank you for watching. Bye-bye.